Okay, we're at Block Island again in the Coronado Beechcraft Baron B58. The difference is we're in FSX today, not X-Plane. And I thought I'd just do this brief video to compare the Block Island scenery that Orbx makes for FSX and for Prepared with that Pilot Plus version for X-Plane. And one of the reasons I'm doing this is because, you know, I have seen that Pilot Plus package compared to Orbx, or likened to an Orbx airport, which is just ridiculous. You know, that Pilot Plus package is mediocre. You know, it's barely freeware quality, and there's just no comparison. So let's just have a little bit of a look at that. So we've got the same, recognisably the same buildings here, the same pattern on the tarmac. We've got lots more of traffic, general aviation traffic here. I don't know if this comes with the airport itself or whether this is from the I've installed the Orbx freeware North America AI package. So that may account for all this parked traffic here. But the terminal building looks pretty much the same. It's a little bit more detailed. It's not as, you know, it's not hugely more detailed. Same hangar there. There's an aircraft in the hangar. The vegetation is a little bit different looking. A very striking difference, well, two very striking differences, if I just park up here for a second, that are immediately apparent. That grass is just, that's proper grass. I mean, it's 3D grass done in the Orbx style, but if you compare it with that Flintstones cartoon grass from the other package, you know, that alone is worth the price of admission. And then of course the trees in the distance there, we've got we know this airport rather, is surrounded by trees. These are much more appropriate models of the foliage. So when we get up in the air, we're going to notice that difference as well. We just taxi up here. These ground markings, incidentally, they're much more to the correct scale than they were in the X-Plane package. Other minor details, these runway and taxiway marker boards, they're done much more stylishly and in more detail. Something that was very much a surprise, this airfield mesh is actually more detailed. Rather than just continuing straight ahead as a flat piece of terrain, we've got some relief here. So there's a pool of some sort there, and we've got an incline goes down past the end of the runway. There's another one of those marker boards. Coming onto the runway itself, the runway textures and the relief, by the way, continues across there. There's some uphill towards those buildings. The runway textures are, you know, reminiscent because they're obviously based on the same real-world markings as the other packages. These ones are much better done. They're higher resolution. I think these are 2048 pixel bitmaps. What else can we say? We've got the same landmarks recognisable. We've got a windsock out there. The windsock's not as nice as the X-Plane one. I've established that's because the X-Plane one is actually the built-in X-Plane library item. Oh, there's a tractor over there as well in the parked by the buildings. That looks quite nice. But the FSX windsock isn't great. we'll give you that one. X-Plane. Again, those trees look nice. They look like real trees. The other ones look like lollipops, and we had that horrible halo effect, you remember. You can see the VOR in the distance. That looks nicely modelled. But let's get up in the air, see how it looks from up there. Don't know what the wind's doing, so we just have to feel our way. Oops, I can feel what it's doing. Lots of right rudder required there. Gear away. Put the flaps away. Now we don't want to go too high, so we'll come back on those power levers right away. Okay, so we got a bit of height now. We're just over the harbour. We're gonna let's just do a little bit of a lap of the island. We'll stay off the coast. We'll go down to the north end, where we should see that sandy, I think it's actually called Sandy Point, which is what the VOR on the airfield is named after, or maybe it's named after that sandy point off the left wing. Now, in common with the Pilot Plus X-Plane package, this entire island is rendered in photoreal terrain. The difference, well, there's many differences. Orbx has done it with much more care and attention to detail. The colour saturation is better. Well, in my view, it's better. It's certainly more saturated. It's much more realistically populated with autogen, which is the buildings and the trees. And the blending's just done. I mean, it's just fantastic. The margins of well, of course the coastline itself is done very well, but the margins with the water, I don't know what you call that, but just the textures underneath the water, they add a lot to the coasts. They're very nicely done. The lagoon here is populated with many more watercraft than the X-Plane scenery, which is more realistic. If you look at photographs of Block Island in real life, you know, there's an awful lot of water traffic around. So we're coming round, we'll do a pass over the airfield. You see, the difference with this scenery is it's actually interesting enough to want to explore. It's not a big island, but there's lots of nice little nooks and crannies. Nice wind farm off the coast there as well, which you might go and have a look at. But you know, just what's off the wing there? There's a sort of depression with a pond in it. Lots of water masking on these inland areas. Now, remember when we looked at the airfield from the air in X-Plane, it looked like the field was littered with debris, which was that 3D grass. This looks like grass. And I have to say that airport apron looks much better with all that traffic on it. Okay, I'm going to lose sight of it now. We'll do a hook round to the right. There's a lighthouse down here somewhere at the north end. That might be just out the window there. Again, we've got nice cliffs rendered there with photoreal. You can see those have been done individually. They're not just textures that have been stretched over a mesh, because we don't get that plasticine smearing effect. So we've got the lighthouse there. The road system leading up to it is there. That coast is beautifully done. And if we just turn back in and approach the airport again, then what we'll do is we'll hook it round and we'll land it pass. So we need to be slowing down for that. It's complaining about the gear, but that's okay. got the gear down. And those beaches are just asking to be landed on with the Twin Otter, so I think we'll be doing that someday soon. I need to continue slowing down actually, I'm carried away here. Of course, one of the other differences that we're going to have from the X-Plane packages, Orbx scenery is seasonal, so you know, in the next few weeks these trees will be autumn coloured foliage, and then we'd have differences as we go into winter and so on. So this is a beautiful approach. Those trees look, again, you know, if you watch people's video reviews, not mentioning any names, we get some ridiculous statements about how realistic the trees are in the Pilot Plus package, and actually they're totally unrealistic. Here we've got much more. Oh, we've got some nice stone walls there. That's a nice touch. I think we're going way too fast here, but I'm having a problem with my trim at the minute, so we're just going to have to land fast. Hopefully this will get me down. I'm stopped in time. I'm not going to stop in time here. I'll try. Come on, baby. Oh, this is going to mess things up if I run off the end. No, come on, come on, come on. Okay. Well, that was lucky. No reverse thrust in this, of course. If that had been the Twin Otter, we wouldn't have had a problem. So let's taxi back. There's the VOR. These ground markings are beautiful. I think that's probably what's responsible for my stutters up in the air. Not only am I recording this with fraps, but I've got the 2048 textures enabled, which I don't usually do. But this is my new PC, I'm just feeling my way really. Again, that grass is beautiful. We've got some, you know, dandelions and other weeds on there as well. The taxiway lights are good. This is how to do scenery. You know, almost without exception the Orbx sceneries are done to this standard. I haven't bought much in the last few months from Orbx. I bought Kern Valley, that's in Southern California. I was a bit disappointed with that. I bought Agua Dulce L70 as well. A bit disappointed with those. If you go back and look at those, they're not intrinsically, they're not badly done. They're just relatively light airfields, and actually the areas that they're done to are just in a sense not that interesting, so you know, that's not so much about the sceneries themselves. But I think you'll agree that Block Island, KBID, that first site is beautifully done. So there it is, Block Island done properly from Orbx. That's just a taster. Might feature this in some upcoming videos, maybe with the Twin Otter or maybe with the Islander, seeing as there's an Islander parked in front of me. I think there's an air taxi service from the mainland Rhode Island to Block Island, so maybe we'll do something in that spirit in a future video.